hear of cocktails, what comes to mind is fancy dressed people, lots of food and drinks. But that's not so with this show. Bolaji Ogunwo intends to feed your eyes and not your bellies. That's just one of the things to expect on this week's edition of the show. Welcome, I'm Melinda Akinlami.
An artist cannot fail. It is a success to be one. I don't paint things. I only paint the difference between things.
Bolaji Ogunwo is a prolific painter. He bagged his first degree from the University of Benin, Edo State, in painting, and later proceeded to the University of Lagos, where he obtained a postgraduate degree in visual art. He's currently a PhD research scholar and a painting lecturer in the Department of Creative Arts in the University of Lagos. He has over 30 notable local and international exhibitions, and is also a member of the Society of Nigerian Arts, SNA, and has put up this solo show in Terra Culture, Lagos.
Bolaji Ogunwo presents a feast of paintings for art enthusiasts in his exhibition titled Visual Cocktail. A large crowd turned out to check out his recipes, which he put on acrylic on canvas, in over 20 paintings with titles such as The Flight, Smile, Pensive, The Chase, and many other works of art.
The body of works that I've done in recent times, with which I'm trying to address the present state of the nation and to pass messages across. The work behind there is titled The Chase. And a scholar said, what you are not willing to pursue, you cannot possess. Now, I have discovered that people travel to America. I'm trying to juxtapose America and Nigeria. The people will say America has been there for years. But one good thing I've learned from the past leaders of America is that they were conscious of posterity, not prosperity.
This artist is intrigued by people, events, and different scenes, and his paintings prove this.
People will say there are several problems or challenges that Nigeria is facing, but I have come to realize that it's just three challenges. Number one is corruption. Number two is corruption. And the third one is corruption. And this is what I'm trying to address and to proffer solution.
He uses impasto technique and his palette knife skillfully to interpret the theme of survival, love, passion, and more.
I see Nigeria, an eagle, taking swimming lessons in the water of corruption. I discovered that back then things were not the way they are now. And I begin to ask questions that where do we go from here? I discovered years back, as far back as 1974, that a dollar is even lesser than a naira. But today, a dollar is about 170 naira in about 40 years. And you discover that the pressure is so much, the extrajudicial killing, kidnapping, corruption has become endemic. Then, as an artist, we cannot fold our hands and to watch things go worse than this. And as an artist as well, I deem it exigent to lend my voice through some of these works here.
And every piece has a tale to it, and words of wisdom from great minds such as Henry Longfellow, Ralph Emerson, George Washington, and many others.
If you look at the titles of the works on display, one is titled Change. In this painting called Change, I've depicted the typical Oshodi that some people will say is a commonplace theme or is an overflowed subject. But I'm taking it from another angle. And for every work, there's a quote from some of the greatest minds that I've read about. People like Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, William Shakespeare, Dr. Miles Monroe, and so on and so forth. Some of the things, the postulations that they have made in the past, I think they will come in handy to help us find a solution to the endemic problem in this nation.
You can see that there's a lot of passion in what he does. So these are just beyond paintings. They are messages that are conveyed to the Nigerian society.
Over the years, we've come to realize that it just doesn't have talent alone, it also has character, and it's inspired a number of young students who have come through him in the painting unit of the Department of Creative Arts. Bolaji Ogunwo is a very committed artist, even though he's very young. He paints all of the time, and just a few days ago we met with some of the young students of the department who said they were inspired to study painting because the lecturers there are practitioners, and that's so important for us in the art schools that you as an artist, is also involved in practice so that your students can get inspired by what you do.
He brings these issues to life with this performance.
We're taking a break now. When ArtHouse returns, you have more artifacts for you to feast your eyes on, so don't go anywhere.
Born in 1930 in Obiomwe, a rural village in Owan local government area, Edo State. He worked and lived in Ketu, Nigeria. At the age of 20, he pursued a future in photography, which was out of the ordinary for people in Nigeria, especially those in his village.
It's the second time around that Uche has let the world into his line of thought. And for a good reason too.
The pieces here are mostly about 24 in number, and they're made all from pen and ink. The pen is a drawing tool, and I've used them to make lines on paper. And in doing this, I was hoping to capture the essence or the power of the pen, rather than making a drawing for the sake of a sketch, like you normally do in a painting.
To show the missing link between line, sign, and symbol.
I have been personally influenced by, should I say, my own personal view about the world. I think the city sometimes is a very congested place, and I try to interpret this congestion with lines, like how crowds can gather in a place, how, for example, a man moves through a city or a dwelling place and is able to, should I say, actualize himself in a crowd.
A lot of inquisitive faces stare at the paintings, wondering what the painter wants to say.
I have done what I think is good enough. And of course, people are reacting differently. Some say it's different, some say it's new, some say it's unusual. And I think that is what art needs to do. It needs to be able to, should I say, instruct or challenge even the artist to do something different.
And they don't hold their breaths for too long as he gives them a window.
One of the pieces speaks about being a migrant in a maze. So it's about how the individual can create a confusing, if you like, maze around himself by moving around too much, trying to get food, drinks, clothing, trying to become a man.
The graduate of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, takes a break from his normal style.
All the works you see here are all done on paper. And they're all done with pen and ink. If you have been done with charcoal, it's really all about drawing, the power of drawing. So I think that drawing itself can be an end. It doesn't have to be like a pre-foundation to a painting.
To Uche, the artist is not a writer or a poet. He's a Samaritan that can decide to be good or evil, depending on his demeanor.
Don't hang all the large paintings in one area and all the small ones in another.